Welcome everybody to our fifth session of the Red Storm Rising campaign adventure. It's titled The Darkest Dream. Welcome everybody. It's designed by Gooey Cube and presented by the Greater Mulmaster Beholder Score of who we are. It's titled The Darkest Dream. And we hope your minds will be opened by wonder. It's designed by Gooey Cube. We are excited for this adventure tonight, and we hope all our viewers enjoy it as much as we do. And we hope your minds will be opened by wonder. It's designed by Gooey Cube. We are excited for this adventure tonight, and we hope all our viewers enjoy it as much as we do. And we hope your minds will be opened by Zane, Mark, we are excited the mighty Trey, Chris, and I am Casey, best known as the emissary of the mighty Trey, Chris, deity of the beholders. And I am Casey, tonight, my friends, best known as the emissary of the mighty Trey. With us, I am pleased to announce that we have a very special guest joining us. Hi, let us welcome the Goo Master himself, the mighty wizard, the one, the only, Alphinius Goo. Hi, let us welcome the Goo Master himself, the mighty wizard.
Welcome.
Hello.
Alphinius Goo.
Watch this stream a couple of times. I enjoyed it. It's wonderful to see the darkest dream played out. Such a marvelous game. I enjoyed it.
Well, thank you, and thank you for joining us tonight, good sir. I'm quite honored and excited to have you as a part of our program this evening. Thank you for joining us. Everybody is going to enjoy what we have in store for us tonight, and we are looking forward to evening. We shall see. We got a few surprises. Going to enjoy what we have. Let's do that. But thank you, and thank you for.
It is I that am honored to be here. Thank you very much, Casey.
Drafted up such a wonderful adventure. We've had just a blast playing it thus far. So we will move forward and see. We're going here. Just a second. I think there are some audio issues, so I'm going to pause for a second. Okay. All right. Well, as with all technical things, there's always something to have to deal with, but we will get there, and we appreciate everybody's patience as we work through it. So awesome. Sounds like we're good to go. So hey, as we begin, just a question. Lee, did you have a question for Alphinius? I think it would be something good for our people to hear, our audience to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely love the world that you've created. It's fantastic, very extensive. But is there one of your favorite, or more favorite locales that you can tell us a bit about?
Well, first and foremost, I cannot take credit for the entire world. I have a wonderful group of people that we call the Goo Crew, and they contributed to this and brought many wonderful ideas and thoughts, and the world has been percolating for many years and boiled beneath the surface, and with their help and the help of other wonderful folks, that is the world that has come to be created. So I don't want to take all this credit. There are many who deserve it, and even more now as the Contributors Guild has blossomed like a marvelous flower, and we have all these wonderful submissions from so many folks, and I cannot wait for West Verdestia to be published here, that so many of you who have contributed to now the world of Xayathe in West Verdestia will be able to see your work in action, if you will, your creativity growing. Now, to answer your question, Lee, this is a very difficult question, because I already mentioned when we were talking earlier about the Bloom Port and underneath.
Cannot wait to read more about that.
Yes, I just think that this enormous cave with a huge, bay inside of it, yes, and all the ports and the smoke and the salty air, yes, and the guttural, growls of sailors and pirates and all the stuff that goes on in there, and that is a marvelous place. But then there is the Du'un Sarasi, yes, which was created in the Woe of Ruin, when the enormous power wave came from what was called Presplancy at the time, but is now called Crooks, and it broke across the ocean and slammed into the eastern side of the continent of Sundestia. And in the years that followed, the entire locality was laid barren and waste. Yes, and now it is a great sea of a substance that is called Merc Crystal that can be found nowhere else on the face of Zyarthe. And this Merc Crystal is a substance that is solid, but it behaves like water. And the Unsara Sea and the areas around it are one of the most prolific places that flowstones might be located. And the Komari tribes claim the Unsara Sea as their entire locality. Yes, it is their territory. And they sail their sand ships across the Unsara to their secret mines, where they dig for flowstones, which they sell to the Soth. Yes, and the Unsara is one that I love. Yes, and there are more. You know, how do you? It is like picking your favorite child. You know?
Yes, I guess so. Well, thank you for sharing that. It just it bubbles up within me to hear you speak of it as a creation, as children or a family, and it shows the energy. And though you mentioned it is a collaborative effort, we know that it's come from the ideas primarily have come from your brain and your many years of running this system, and what you've often referred to as, we agree to, as the greatest game ever made. And I agree with you that 110% as well. So, you know, thank you for the years and the effort that you've put into our hobby, and for what you've really created a labor of love for all of us to enjoy. And as I was mentioning the collaborative effort, I go back to, you mentioned the Contributors Guild, and for those who may not know, this is a collaborative world that is open for contributions from anyone who may be interested to have the opportunity to present material that could be included within this world. It is quite marvelous of itself, and the ability to draw from it for inspiration is grand. But the beauty, one of the most beautiful things about the opportunity of this system is that we can offer our own creativity to it as well. So joining the Discord channel for Gooey Cube, just look for that. If somebody's available to post a link to that in the chat tonight, that would be awesome.
I'm on it.
Thank you, Lee. Appreciate that so much. The Gooey Game Masters Den of Enlightenment on Facebook is the other half of that, and wonderful information and inspiration comes out from there daily, multiple times a day. It's a wonderful channel to follow, and so the opportunity to be a part of this collaborative effort makes this unique, and it makes us all really enjoy and have a personal invested buy-in into the process of this product, and we hope to see it continue to blossom with our efforts, and we have faith that it surely will, because we have fallen in love and we've seen what it can be, and we're demonstrating that now, and we will continue to do that tonight as we move forward and we play. So I was going to give an opportunity for the audience to ask a question of the Great Wizard. So if you wanted to ask a question, go ahead and post that in the chat tonight, and we'll pick from that here in a little bit. But I know my players are chomping at the bit to be able to get into the next session of play. But I did wanted to take the opportunity to show a video. There is a video associated with this system that's absolutely wonderful. So why don't we go ahead and do that right now? Everybody just sit tight, enjoy the brand new promotion for the Gooey Cube product, and then we'll come back around and ask a question momentarily. So roll the video, please. All right. That was a marvelous video, and camera Mandy is she's so talented. She does some amazing work, and I love that when I saw that come through. And yeah, it shows a lot of the artwork we were talking about that earlier. It is just absolutely spectacular. Did we have any questions come through, Lee?
We did not.
Okay. All right. Well, if you guys want to ask any, you can. But I think what we're going to do here is, why don't we go ahead and go on into, I'm going to ask Alphinius, tell me what stands out to you the most in that video?
Well, first of all, I think camera Mandy must have seen the play Stomp or something like that, because it's kind of like all of a sudden there were sticks inside. Yes. No, it is marvelous, and she is incredibly talented, and I am incredibly blessed and pleased to work with her, even though she is an impertinent little goof. But no, she is a wonderful talent and has a great heart for the world of Xayathay and a great heart for making wonderful, interesting and intriguing videos. And we do have a lot of banter between the two of us, and it is marvelous. But I think for me, what the vibrancy of that video, the intensity and the vibe of it, right? It brings this wonderful feeling of what the world is, and it's got that juiciness. It's not so cinematic as some of the other things that we have done, and it's got this sort of dancey thing that goes along, but it also still has that undercurrent of a little bit of fear and intensity that Xayathay brings. Yes, so that is probably what I like about it the most.
Yeah, I was struck by her use of being able to take the 2D images that are so prevalent and beautiful in the artwork and make them feel 3D visually. I thought that was absolutely spectacular in the combination of the cube underlay, but the sense of intensity is quite there. And yeah, these adventures that we're running through are quite intense and just a lot of fun, so that fits very well. I agree with that much as well. We had another question here, and I was going to go ahead and ask that, unless there was a question from the audience.
I actually have a quick question.
Go for it.
For the collaboration effort, you mentioned you have the Goo crew. If you wanted to contribute an NPC or a location, would there be one or more people that you could collaborate with the details for submitting that NPC or location, so it can be incorporated in with the whole history?
So we are actually pretty good at being able to take information and such that have been provided. But absolutely, you can ask any questions of me or of AJ or of Gooey Mike, Gooey L, and if they can't answer, they'll certainly direct it to me, and I don't mind at all. In fact, I enjoy it. I get these messages pretty much every day in the den, or get them in Discord, and folks asking questions about things, and I very much enjoy that interaction. So I am at your disposal.
Yeah, and the contribution opportunities are there, and yeah, just watching the den and seeing the announcements they make on when contributions are available is
we're just about to start again. We're going to go submission round 4. We'll begin here soon. We'll probably do meetups next weekend, and also I think next week we begin the Great Gooey Adventure. So there's much happening right now.
Yeah, a lot going on. That's awesome.
How long does those the periods open for submissions?
So the next round of submissions will probably be another locality, though we are still talking about if we need it based on all that we have gotten. And it is possible that the next submission might actually go back to the Cyclopedia Magica, which so we might ask for more spells and more magic items, but there is also some discussion about asking folks to do their first ever submission of a monster for the Cyclopedia Monstrica, which is on the drawing board, if you will.
I love creating monsters.
Yes. And
Awesome.
the wonderful thing about created monsters is all the monster memorizers don't know what they do. Yes! No more monster memorizing.
Yes.
No metagaming. No metagaming. We don't like that. Yes. All right. Well, any other questions this evening from anyone before we move on?
I don't have any, but I have posted the Discord link in the chat. I'll also make sure that we get that in the comments underneath after this goes to recorded.
Thanks for doing that.
I do have something. I just wanted to let Alphinius know that everybody needs to leave the wizard alone because he looks great without a hat. And, you know, if they do put one on him, they're going to have to redo the awesome picture that has been drawn and painted already. And, you know, I'm sure everybody would be happy to have more of those pictures. Just
yes, this great hat conspiracy, Grognik, has become quite intriguing, I think, for many.
We actually do have one question that came through the chat, and that was, is he wearing a hat? So,
the conspirators are everywhere. Cameraman's network just seeps into all things, yes?
Should we kick that person?
No.
I've got to give him a shout out. Grognik, did you see in the den, did you see Harry and his multitude of hats on the Alphinius model that he did?
Yes, and I can't say that I don't like it, but I do like the fact that you can take them off.
There is some part of me that really wants to figure out how we do, you know, gooey heads that Harry created with the goo on the head, yes, and call them goo heads, kind of like cheap heads of Green Bay Packers, right?
big green square cubic hats.
Oh, we need that. Yes.
I'd buy that.
Oh, that sounds so exciting.
I'd wear one.
Oh, well, let's take a little bit of a shift here in this evening and move on to something even more spectacular. Thank you for answering those questions and taking some time to do that. Appreciate that very much. But tonight, as a prelude to our adventure, we will hear a tale. One that the players' characters have heard many times, yet it never gets old. Consider it a flashback to a night in the maybe not too distant past, maybe even last week, when they all sat around the tent fire after a long, hard day working the carnival. Alphinius?
You feel the wood of the log beneath your feet, your bottom. You feel the warmth of the fire as it burns in front of you and the crackling that pierces the calm night. And as you look about, you see so many friendly faces. You see Stoof and Lena. You see Borag and Kalnase, her head on his shoulder. You see Brian, his blindness, sitting next to Mother Salvenza. The children run around, yes, the youngsters. But when they see old Strem rise to his feet, they sit down and quiet themselves. Well, my friends. He takes a draw from his long-stemmed pipe. Well, my friends, I will tell a tale this evening. Yes, I will. Tale of our man Cray. You have heard it, but I will tell it again, nonetheless. You must know that some time back, near the town of Wintersdale, 6 bad men, yes, 6 thugs, they tried to take Mevia by force into the forest. Yes, and there they would do unspeakable things to her. These bad men had caught her unawares, away from the wagons, and they had cupped her mouth, lest she scream for help or use her magics as they dragged her away. But what the men did not know was that Cray was nearby. Yes, he was sitting in the dark, as he was wont to do. He arrived as they were tearing at her clothing, their eyes shining with the evil intent that they planned. At first they laughed at him. They were, after all, 6 against 1, and with Cray, not an overly large man. He would die quickly, they thought. 5 of them advanced upon him, their weapons drawn with menacing stares and gritted teeth, as wolves would move against a fawn, alone in the meadow. The 6th, the leader, he remained behind, holding Mevia down as he encouraged his men to finish off this little Shazat, so they could get back to their fun. 2 were dead before they took 3 steps, one with a black-handled dagger in his throat, another with one through his eye. The 3rd, a large man with a huge scar across his face, staggered back from the smallish man, coughing and gurgling as blood poured from the slash across his neck, his head nearly severed by the stroke. Cray had drawn his sword with lightning quickness, slicing just below the man's jaw before the attacker could even react. But the last 2, seeing the fates of their brethren, now understood their risk. They spread to either side of Cray, weapons at the ready, malice in their faces. They advanced as one, approaching Cray from his right and his left, the first with an axe, the second with 2 long, wicked daggers. Like a flash, Cray ducked beneath the axe stroke of the first man, diving backward with an agility that neither of the assailants expected. Cray's sword sung as he dove, cutting the axe-wielding man's upper leg to the bone. With a groan, the man fell to the ground, blood gushing from the wound, to pool on the trampled grass. The second man moved quickly at the now vulnerable Cray, intending to sink his daggers into the small man's exposed back before Cray could recover from his move. But Cray had anticipated just this, and as the tale goes, he had done it a purpose. As the man, thinking he had an easy opening, raised his daggers to strike, Cray thrust his body backwards toward the attacker, sliding beneath the flashing knives and driving his shoulder into the chest of the larger foe. In the same moment, Cray thrust his sword backward as well. Steel met its mark, sinking deep into the man's belly, Cray twisting the blade upward in the same stroke. The man was dead before he hit the ground. The other attacker with the wounded leg attempted to rise to fight again, but died almost immediately with Cray's daggers embedded in his chest. He never even saw the small man throw it. Cray then stood up and moved toward the leader, who sat astride Mevia. Her eyes were wide with fear. The man now held his dagger to her throat. "Stop now, or I'll be making her bleed," he hissed. Cray stood before the leader, his eyes intent upon the man's face. The man stared back at Cray, his gaze filled with hate. But what the man did not see was Cray's eyes dart for just a moment to look beyond where the man straddled Mevia, into the shadows of the trees behind. Without a word, Cray dropped his sword. "That's a smart fellow," growled the man. "Now I want you to..." But the man's sentence was cut short, for that at that exact moment, a silent figure moved out of the shadows behind him. A dark hardwood staff struck the leader in the back of his skull, cracking the bone of his cranium and breaking his neck at the base. The man's corpse toppled off Mevia to the ground at her side. The girl looked up at the one who had so recently arrived to finish off the last of the horrible brutes, her breast still heaving in fear. What she saw was an older, blind elf. dressed in a papa's robes with bluish skin and a long hanging braid falling from his otherwise bald head. It was Brian, another of our troop. Known as the Blind Wind, his monkish skills are impressive to say the least. His sightless eyes looked down at Mavia, then to the bodies on the ground, and then up toward Cray, who smiled wryly at the newly arrived personage. "I see that I came late to this party," the bald man remarked in a soft voice. He did not wait for a reply from Cray, as he knew none would come. Looking back down to Mavia, he asked, "Might I escort you back to the wagons, my dear? 'Tis far too late for a young woman such as yourself to be out here in the woods alone." The girl nodded in reply, her breathing still heavy, almost as if he saw her answer. The blind man reached his strong, gnarled hand down to lift her from the ground. They then began a slow walk back towards camp. After a moment, Mavia looked back over her shoulder, wishing to thank her savior. But Cray had disappeared into the darkness, as he was wont to do. And that is the tale, my friend. Yes, of Cray and the 6 thugs.
Oh, marvelous. Marvelous. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, more.
Oh, thank you, my friends.
Bravo,
You are
bravo.
too kind. Yes, I am but an old man now, and I appreciate your considerations. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, old Strem. What wonderful evenings we have listening to your stories, and we shall continue to enjoy them as we move into the evening and what you may have in store for us tonight, as we talked about earlier. So we are excited. So, my friends, that was the tale, as he mentioned, of Cray the Blade. Well known, and it fits quite nicely with as we proceed into tonight's session and from the encounter that we already had with him in the previous session. So, my friends, aberrations, I ask you, it's time for a session. Shall we begin?
Aye.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, tonight we find a story unfolding. Snakes have come from the ground. But what be these visions? Flames? All around? Oh my. So, I ask, is there somebody who would like to recount the session we had previous to this? I call on Gragnik.
Yes, Quimbar would like to recap it. So,
Kimber,
Yes.
tell us what has happened.
another session with the Yuntas of the Blue Veil Troop, aka the Hanatas, Gypsy folk, carnival leaders. Some of us are born here, but most of us have been taken in as their own. The curse they call us, but family is what we have, and they know no boundaries in compassion for others, even the afflicted, touched. I am going to read from some previous information that was given to us. It is the 12th day of Dazun, the last month of the year, and the Annam named the Year of the Rogue. It's just 2 weeks. The month of Dazun will give way to Jazun in the new year. Soon after, the true cold of the Northlands will come screaming like a banshee from the Icengrays and drive into the very bones of all who dwell in the central and northern territories of the continent of Destia. The Hanatas will set up hard camp before then, likely within the vicinity of the cities of Dragon's Cross, and there will be no more traveling for nearly 3 months. The troops' leaders, Barrage and Kalanies, are determined to make one final day's profit before moving on. So, we are now on Session 5. Session 4. We started with our mom, Kalanies, wrestling some men for 3 rounds. She beat them pretty good, even though they tried to cheat. It seems tonight is our night as well, for we won many coin. Us Zonties competed in a tug of war, and it was a standstill until we pushed it over the edge. Much smack talk was had, and thanks to Kismia we won. During this, Roar was smitten by one of our rivals, a dwarven maiden. She had a beautiful flowing beard. Perhaps later they will have a drink together. Borog and Kalanies stayed to congratulate us. Now we have duties to attend. Decision was made to walk around the festivities clockwise, so we don't miss anything. Eventually, we will make our way to Cray, for we heard from Mom that something was keeping him on edge. We passed the busy Cirrus tent and into the market. Quickly we perused some of the wares, but someone must have slipped something into our drinks because Fleegan started yapping about fire. Fire everywhere. Also, a strange large bird caught Roar's attention. I think it was Roar. No one else seemed to see them. We continued. The beast cages looked good. Some strange beasts, though. Near the pens, Fleegan found a surprise present waiting in the shape of a big cow pie, a crappy patty. With a few bad jokes, we continued to the snack wagons. There the group found some snake tracks. We investigated them as it is part of our job. They led us back toward the cow pen and into our sleeping area. While we were checking under our wagons, we heard the cows moving in a commotion, so we returned. A small crowd was gathering. Helda the cow had gotten caught in a hole. Alas, it wasn't a gopher hole, as we watched it grow in size. Quickly we rushed in to save the poor girl, but before we could, a nest of snakes slithered out of the hole. The snakes surrounded us, and many bites were taken before we could vanquish them. Helda the cow squashed the giant snake. Now Helda the snake slayer. Further investigations into the newly formed hole, we found unknown remains. The cows were placed in another pen, so we continued to the archery range to check on Cray. There we walked up on an archery competition. Of course, Fleegan wagered a coin and won. Losers got irritated and were easily belittled into a wager against us, Yuntas. In Fleegan's knife-throwing competition, he was very close, but the other won. Roar was spectacular in the archery contest. Lastly, Keenan took on their brute. She was fast and got a poke in, but he clobbered her back. What looked bad soon became better as he missed. She did not hesitate to take advantage of the final blow that dropped him. We collected our wins and ignored the insults from the sore losers to head towards Cray to see what is ailing him. He said he was on edge because he had seen 3 cloaked men wandering on the edge of camp the last few nights. We discussed the 3 who we stopped from leading 2 ungrateful priests into the forest. Were they the same? We figured they were, but this has all put Quambar on edge. Plus, where was his blue maroon beauty? She had not returned. That's what I've got.
Awesome, marvelous. Thank you for that wonderful retelling that captured it excellently and brings us to the point of the opportunity for Gooey rewards. Well, because of that, you have earned yourself a Gooey reward. So go ahead and roll on the table, Kimber, and let's see what we get to add to your loot. Opportunity to have. And then everybody else, while he's doing that, give me a D20 roll, please. Advantage on a saving throw. That could come in useful. Oh, look at that. Straight up natural 20 for Ken.
Used it up.
Woo! Yep.
Yeah, well, it could be, it could be initiative again.
First roll of the night. Look at that. Look at that. All right. So, Kenna, you have earned yourself a Goo reward. Go ahead and see what you get to claim for the evening. Advantage on an ability check.
Okay. I've still got my free extra attack, so I will mark this one down as well. It's a one-shot.
That's the awesome thing about the Goo rewards is that you get them and you hold on to them and you use them when you feel ready, and they stack. So, well done with that. Nice roll. So, Well, cool. Well, good job, everyone. And we shall begin Carnival for session number 5.
Sweet.
All right, so Carnival music. Here we go. So we're back at the Carnival. And what has just happened? Well, you guys have just completed the contests.
And one of us saw that big bird again in the trees just north of where we were. I don't remember who that was.
At the same time, in what you guys noticed is that Fleegan is swooning and sweating as he seems to be lost in a trance, once again, as happened earlier. And at the same time, a giant bird appeared, of which Theros and Kenna both recognized at this point and seen. It was a giant red-crowned hawk with glowing red eyes staring at you from the trees just to the north of where you guys are in the fields. I will ping it on the map here. And but what grabs your attention quite quickly at the same time, simultaneously, is Fleegan almost passes out, but seems to kind of shake his head and gather his composure for a moment as he sees whatever it is that he sees. And Bran runs over and wraps his arm around Fleegan to minister to him and see what his needs are. What do you all do?
Did the hawk fly away, or is it still there?
It's still there eyeing you at this moment.
I'll knock an arrow slowly.
Okay, you pointed up towards it. What are others doing?
I will ask Fleegan if he would like a drink. He looks like he could use one.
I, too, will ready a spear, ready to hurl.
I'll take that.
So Fleegan grabs a drink there, and as he's taking a swig of that, the bird alights from the top of the tree and, giving a great squawk, turns and flies off towards the east. Do you all do anything at that point?
I'm going to let it go
Okay.
at this point.
Give me an attack roll.
No. I'm going to let the hawk fly away.
Okay, I thought you were going to let
I'm not letting the arrow go.
All right. And Fleegan takes a swig of the warm liquor, and it flows down your chest and gives you kind of a feeling of calmness and regaining your composure a bit, as it were, as Bran seems to minister some healing touch upon your back to calm your nerves. Does Bran say anything to him at this point? All right. So at this moment,
Where will Grol say, "Now you feel like a dwarf, don't you, finally?"
My friend,
Theros, I will attempt to follow this bird. If I can keep...
my friend, what are you doing?
that is the voice of Bran.
What do you
So,
see?
So tonight, my friends, Bran and Cray are going to actually be voiced by the man our special guest who is joining us. So if you hear him speak, he's speaking as one of those. So we'll go back and let Bran speak again. I am sorry.
My friend, what are you seeking? What are you looking for?
Who is he addressing?
Fleegan.
Okay.
Fleegan, what are you doing? What are you seeking?
I don't know. Birds and fire.
come and walk with me for a moment, please? There's something I wish to tell you.
Okay. I think I can do that.
Okay. So you guys head off towards the trees a little bit, and does anybody wander along with them, or do you guys let them go privately?
And I figure he would have asked us to come if he needed us, so I will stay.
Agree.
Okay. All right.
Glor says to the others, I wish to go see my parents quickly, and he would like to go over to the tent of warm feelings.
Okay. So you're going to go visit Stoof and Lena over there. Stoof is probably over there. Lena's probably over still with the snack tents. But I'll let you go over and visit with your father a moment. What else? Anybody else doing anything?
Theros wanted to follow the bird if he could keep up with it.
Okay, the bird actually flies off quite quickly and disappears almost instantaneously. It flies actually even faster than you think may even be typical for a bird of that size.
Quimber's kind of torn what to do. He sort of steps away, watches them leave, turns back to Cray, wants to continue that conversation. But then he looks back over at Fleegan leaving and decides to sort of follow at a distance. Maybe, 10, 15 feet away at the most.
Okay. All right. You ask Cray any questions?
No, I'm sort of afraid of Cray. He seems on edge too. I feel he's gotten everything he could get from us, so I'll leave it to someone else that's not afraid of him to speak further with him.
All right. Well, at this moment, the contestants that you guys were contested against in the last session help pick up their friend, Big Ned there, who was beaten down by Kenna. And he kind of shaking his head around and grunts and groans a little bit. And they come over to you guys while you're getting a stock, and Worston just marches right up and gets right in the face of Cray, and he says, "I don't care what people say, this shit's rigged. I don't even know why we bother."
Perhaps you should depart, sir.
Depart? Where would I do? Well, you guys are in our lands. You should be the ones who are leaving this place. Take our gold. You think that we don't know what's going on? I don't believe it. Filthy shazats.
We will leave soon enough, but you will leave now.
I don't even understand. Ned's never dropped that fast, especially from a tasty-looking little bitch like you. And he looks at Kenna and just kind of sneers at her.
Oh, I will slap him.
Okay, give me a attack unarmed strike roll.
Unarmed strike. Let's see. I guess that's just going to be dexterity.
You could use it as dexterity if you want to. All right. He was expecting the retort, and as you peel your hand back and try and take a smack from him, or a smack at his face, he pulls his head back at the last minute and just kind of laughs a little bit. He says, "You little lady, I can't even imagine that it was fair for you to take down Ned over here when you couldn't even jump quick enough to get to my face." And Ned kind of laughs and grunts. And Jend over there, he goes, "Totally."
And yet, We have your coin.
Yeah, ill-gotten as it is.
Well, you
And,
know, they say the golden rule is those who have the gold make the rules. You can leave now.
Oh, wise. Short little pasty-faced smallings. Can't believe these little shits don't know what they got themselves into. And Jen goes, yeah, I bet she'll go down hard on them too. If you catch my meaning.
No, I don't know what you're saying.
Well, if you don't understand, I'm not going to tell you. So enjoy your coin, you little brats. Won't last long for you, I'm sure.
Lasted longer than it did for you. Vamoose.
He gets a little red in the face, but then he looks at you all and he says, I bet you ain't seen the last of us. But next time, it'll be all too real. None of these fake swords and rigged contests. Take your money. Enjoy it while it lasts. Get out of here.
I'll unsling Graxel and just drop the end down on the ground. And just look him in the...
Cray puts his hand on Theros' shoulder and looks at him and shakes his head in a negative fashion. Let them go.
All right. Resling it.
Let them go.
Yes, Father.
All right, and the three of them spit on the ground at Cray's feet and turn to walk away. Any other reaction?
Cray walks over to Kenna. Daughter, you cannot give away your swing with your step.
You're right, Father. I let my anger telegraph that. I will concentrate more. I will keep it in check.
When it is coming, if they know, they can react.
All right, so they turn and they kind of wave you all in Worston says some sort of insult under his breath that all of you are unable to hear, but his friends hear as well. And Ned makes a obscene gesture towards Kenna, and Jen just kind of chuckles under his whiny little breath, and they head off away off into the crowd of the rest of Carnival.
I do not trust them. They are going to be trouble later.
All right. Yes. Okay. Fleegan and Brian. Any conversation there?
Fleegan, my son.
Yes.
I know that you met the woman in the row.
The woman in the robe.
Well, it is on your character sheet.
As Fleegan starts reading his character sheet.
That's marvelous.
Let me work this out.
I know that you met the woman in the robe. And I know she said things to you that move your heart. He turns his face to you and he looks you right in the eye, his white milky orbs staring at you. And I will tell you, I am not certain, but she spoke true to you. Be shrewd, my son. Be shrewd. For not everyone who appears to be a friend may be.
Yes, that is good advice.
Okay. Kimber, did you overhear this?
I'm not sure how loud they're speaking. I am only probably reached about 15 feet away because I saw the commotion behind us and would have hesitated from that. So there is a good chance that I might have missed that whole discussion. Probably caught the last of it and didn't really understand what they were saying.
Okay. Well, I would
do
say.
you have any advice for me? Where I can go and what I can do?
My son, I think that these things will be made plain. But what I am concerned about is something that I cannot speak of you at this time. But it goes to your ancestry, and it goes to a tale that came to my ears only recently. But I promise you that soon we will sit and talk about this thing.
Could it be related to my visions?
That we must understand more, my son. What are you seeing?
And he starts sweating a little bit. I saw all the tents and the wagons. They were all on fire. Everything was on fire.
Brian puts his hand on your shoulder and turns you. Fleegan, your visions, have they come true before?
I've never had anything like this before.
Perhaps you should seek out a mother and tell her this.
Yes, that's a good idea. Yes, she's wise and smart.
And I promise you, my son, we will sit soon, and I will tell you the tale that came to my ears.
Thank you so much.
Now go.
Thank you so much.
You are fine, Fleegan. You are a good young gnome. Now go be with your friends, and take care of Carnival.
Yes, we will do that.
Okay. So Fleegan heads back on over towards the rest of his companions, and while all this is happening, Gror went over towards the wagon of his father to chat with him for a moment, and you see the dwarf. Let me get a picture of him for you. You see the dwarf standing over there by his tent, and he smiles at you and acknowledges you and waves you over. He says, "Oh, son, how's it going today? It sounds like I've heard tale that some exciting things have gone through you all, and you've experienced some excitement. What be your words for me today? Tell me, son."
It has been such a weird and wondrous day, sir. We've seen all kinds of creatures and monsters and spiders, and I don't even know where to start, but I do have this large bag of treasure I would like to not have to carry around. Can you hold it here for us so that we don't lose it before the campfire?
Oh, yes, I'll be happy to hold that for you in case something unseemly comes your way and you may lose that. That is quite a bag of treasure. He kind of whistles under his breath as he sees you pull the bulging bag of golds out. He says, wish we shall keep this safe within the coffers of the tent here. And yes, my son, I will say though, each of you may be best to keep a few golds upon your person, just in case something may have need of that. Somebody may have need of that. So I don't should do that as well. And you look a little pale, almost as I feel when I wake up in the morning. This blasted, wasting disease that affects the bones. I'm so thankful that you all have not gotten the disease as well, or have not shown signs of it at this point. But oh, you look pale. Are you feeling okay? Do your bones feel okay, my son, today?
I feel great, Father, and strong. This has been a marvelous day, like I said.
Winter Bear. Yes. Oh, Winter.
Made our ancestors proud, and I believe I've met a girl.
Girl? Oh, your mother and I love to hear that tale. Sadly, it is a day, and I do not have much time for the tale. But I would like to know more about this girl. That sounds like a wonderful, wonderful tale, son.
Yes, I will tell you all the day's events when we meet before the campfire. I will take half of this treasure then, as you have instructed, so that we all have some. And you can hold this part that should go in the middle at the campfire then.
Yes, we will do that. We will hold the half of it, son, and we'll make sure it gets given together at the end as we pool our resources as we do each night. So, Winterberry cordial, would you like a sip, my son?
Yes, may I have a draught or two that I can take with me? I had to loan one to be thrown upon the spider mother. Oh, that's a tale you'll love to hear.
Oh, the spider mother, that sounds incredible. I am so glad you are safe. So, yes, if you see your mother, give her my best. Tell her that today is a good day. I am not hurting as much today, this blasted disease. But
I'm glad to hear that, Pa. I told you it was a great day. I will let her know as well.
Okay. Make me proud today, son. Make me proud, and I look forward to hearing your story about this girl. And he takes the bag of treasure that you hand to him. He heads back into the booth to help draw some more drinks for others. And as he's heading back, he turns around in a moment. He says, "Oh, Gror, I remember now. Oh, would have lost my head if it was not attached. But you all found some liquor, some barrels of liquor, and it was brought to me. Borag told me that you all found these, and unfortunately, I'm glad that you found them and that they were not sold upon the people here. But it is not something that people would want to drink. That Shiner crew who creates this moonshine, it's not good. It's not good for people, and it's not good for business. And so therefore we have carted it out back and broken up the casks and let it drain off into the ground. There is something not right about that, and I would say any signs of the Shiner crew, just steer clear of them, my son. Warn your friends. Not a good lot. Not a good lot. But I must
carry that word.
Yes, I must go. So, carry on, son. Make me proud. I shall see you later this evening.
Much love, Father. See you soon.
Oh. So, Gror heads back over with his friends, and do you all share a word with each other at this moment?
Fliggin, I heard that you were going to see Mother. What did Brian say?
We need to go see the mother. I'm seeing things.
Oh, I am sorry I didn't believe you before. I thought it might have been something you drank.
I didn't touch anything. Well, there was that liquor over there.
That's all that's helped him.
Mother Sylvensa, we should go to her tent next. It will take us past the tent of veils, and I want to take a look in on my mother.
All right. Any other questions for Cray or Brian before you guys head on out? Any parting words or questions?
Father, I will hold you to that talk this evening.
Quimbar will muster up some courage and tell Cray, if those cloaked figures return, we have dealt with them once before, and we will deal with them again. They are below your skill level. You should not be bothered by them.
They do not bother me. They are just like many. They hate us for no reason. But there is an air about them. We must be alert. Especially now.
We leave in the morning.
And he looks at all of you in your eyes. And he says, what I am about to say, you must share with no one. I believe the troop is being followed by those of malevolent intent. Keep your eyes sharp and your blades sharper.
We will, Father. We will.
Quimbar's eyes are wide as Cray speaks, and his body is tense. And when Cray finishes, he doesn't have any words. And eventually he turns and walks off.
We can
Alright.
look around and stare at every single person and say, yes, yes, master.
Can you tell us what these men look like?
I have only seen shadows. I have tried to follow. But they are skilled. So no, I cannot tell you what they look like. You must trust your instincts in that regard.
Then I shall watch for them.
Quimbar, at hearing this, stops dead in his tracks. He approaches back to the group and Cray says, I have never mentioned this among my brothers or sister, but I was once kidnapped by an occult. They kept me. For what reasons, I still don't know. Something to do with possibly being touched. That is what led me on my long journey in worshipping Kismia, for she brought me much luck and survival, and to bring me here with all of you, my loved ones. It says, but this cult, I don't know if it's true, but I heard they may still be seeking me out, and I hope that what Cray has seen is not them in the shadows. I hope and will stay close to my brothers and sister, for I fear that it might be them, and I do not wish to be taken in such a way, not from my family, not what I have now. I won't let it happen. I haven't said this to you because it brings me nightmares, such nightmares that I can't explain them, but be it. Please, Kismia, let my luck continue and keep these things, these occult members away from me and keep me with my family. But Cray, you've probably heard this. You've probably heard of my past. But I say it here now so my brothers and sister may know of it. And I hope that I do not bring danger to us.
As you say these words in prayer to Kismia, a overwhelming calm descends upon your body, and you feel a lighthearted encouragement within your heart that seems to come from nowhere, but you've recognized this before as you've communed with your goddess.
Theros will walk over and put his arm or his hand on Quimber's shoulder. Don't worry. Anyone who wants to come and harm this troop will have to get through me first.
And me.
And I'm not going to let anything happen to you.
I knew I could rely on you, and I feel Kismia is here also, looking over us and watching. Thank you, brothers and sister.
Yeah, with the overabundance of natural 20s that keep seeming to happen, I think Kismia is definitely watching over this crew. Yes. So, my friends, it sounds like it's time to move on for your rounds.
Yes.
So it is up to you all. I did hear that desire would be to go see Mother Salvenza, but is there any other decisions on the direction you might want to take? You've made one round thus far. Do you have any parting words or anything for Cray and Bran?
Nope. I do want to stop by the Tent of Veils, though.
Okay. All right. So, anybody want to do anything different, or it sounds like that's the direction you're going, is towards the Tent of Veils, down towards the Salvenza?
I think we should stay together anyway, just in case those others cause trouble.
Absolutely.
I'll stick close to Kimber.
It seems the
Thank you,
serious.
He's got some
Thank you for
valuable substances.
It also seems that Sirius is gathering a crowd. Perhaps we should check on that crowd again. So I'm not have any difference in opinion.
Okay. All right, Fleegan, I heard you say something. Go ahead and say that again.
Thank you, Bran, for everything. Thank you. I will talk to you soon, I hope.
Yes, we will talk soon, my son. And remember, Jinx is with you, and Kismia brings you her luck.
All right, thank you, Alphinius, for joining us and playing those parts for us and giving us some tale. It was wonderful, and I appreciate you giving us your time this evening.
It was marvelous. Enjoyed playing with you all. Now go get to see what happens. Yes. Well, there is a tale being told.
Seems as if there is, and the tale is most marvelous. Thank you. Thank you, good sir.
Thank you, sir.
Pleasure.
Good evening.
And it's Gooey.
That's all.
You have given me a much spicy evening. I better go give my love to my dear wife.
Yes.
You all have a wonderful evening, and I want to see what happens here. So do well the rest of the night.
You
Thank
too,
you
sir.
for joining us.
Good night. My
Thank
friend.
you. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night. All right, guys. So moving on to where you would like to go, I will say go ahead and move your characters down towards the Tent of Veils, right to that location there. Check one moment here. So as you're moving that direction, and you get to that location there, Gore, you want to go ahead and stay with the group too, and Roll20 still seems to be broken. Give me just a moment. I tried to open a window and it gave me the login screen.
Yay.
So it wasn't me earlier that was having technical difficulties.
No,
We're
yeah.
having some problems tonight. I'm going to try and see if I can hear.
Seems like it's usually
There we
me
go.
that has some technical issues.
Okay, got it.
I'm okay.
Yeah, no, I think some of their servers are connecting and disconnecting here. So, all right. So we need tried to switch windows and it caused a login here. Right. So as you guys are moving through the crowd, you see a man in the crowd who immediately stands out to you, though at first you're not entirely sure why. Although there is a slight nip in the air, the sun is out, and the afternoon is quite pleasant. This man is bundled up in gray, the somewhat ratty layers, as though a blizzard is about to blow in. He keeps a scarf pulled up, and his broad-brimmed hat down, obscuring his face. Hands switch, fidgeting nervously, and disappearing beneath his coat. Adjusting some indistinguishable object at his belt, and he stands at the outer edge of the carnival and seems to be watching the people passing by carefully, or even maybe nervously.
Does that gray outfit look anything like, sea traveler-ish?
No, it does not. There's a picture of him right there.
Looks kind of hobo-ish.
I was giving him way more mad.
What would you all like to do?
Kenna will stop over at the wagon of sweets and warm feelings and bring him something to eat because he looks like he needs it.
Okay. So you pop over there, and he's just kind of milling about in this area long enough for you to be able to pop over, grab a bag of nuts. You can get a free bag of nuts from the tent over there, and you hurry back quickly to him. And as you approach this suspicious-looking man, you see that his bulky clothing hides a thin, frail frame, and he is actually quite old. His scarf covers a scraggly gray-white beard, and his hat sits upon a nearly bald and rather wrinkled scalp. His skin is pale and liver-spotted, except his nose and cheeks, which are red from the cold and from hard drinking, it seems, because there is an stale liquor-soaked air about him. And as you wander over towards him with the food and get nearby, he says, "What do you want from me? Can a man not simply enjoy one of his last days in peace?"
I simply thought you might like some. As I hold out the bag.
He looks at it, and he looks at you, and he goes, "Thank you, but no thank you. You do not know what is coming." And he mumbles gibberish under his breath. "Everything, and at the stars, it comes." And he kind of turns away and begins to kind of lumber farther away from you into the crowd.
Walk back to my friends. "Well, that is a very odd man." He says he is expecting end of days.
Fire.
Okay, give me a perception check.
Must be much closer to the end of his days than the rest of us, that's for certain.
Can you give me a perception check?
Certainly. Nope.
Okay.
You don't see anything.
He's mumbling under his breath as he walks away, but you don't really hear. You can't make out exactly what it is.
Okay.
All right. You guys head on?
Let's continue on.
Yep.
The old drunkard.
All right. Okay. All right. So you guys come over towards the Tent of Veils.
Yes.
All right. I will show you a picture of the Tent of Veils. All right. You see a large, colorful tent that you know is the Tent of Veils. It's about 40 feet in diameter and shimmers almost as if it were made of thousands of gossamer scarves. A bright pennant on the top of the tent pole fits in the light breeze. Townsfolk are already entering in to watch the next performance. Standing just outside the open tent entrance is Mevia, from the story that you guys heard earlier, resplendent in her traditional Hanata spelldancer costume.
Glad I don't have to wear one of those yet.
Her red hair shines in the afternoon light as she smiles at you, waves you over.
Approach.
Serves when it thinks unnatural thoughts.
Or are they horribly natural? Which way?
Think about step stools and pulleys.
Does he go up to her and say, "You can tug on my rope anytime"?
He just blushes and keeps smiling at her.
Yeah, he just smiles.
Very impressive.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Well, she waves you over and she smiles at you all, and she's standing at the entrance, checking to make sure that those who want to attend the show have their tokens. And she seems quite busy. She looks over at you and she smiles and she says, "Hello, friends. How's it going today?"
It's been an odd one.
An odd one? Well, that it very much has. The dancers here, they've been doing quite unwell today. They're just not on their game, and it's not been going very well. I do not know what's going on. It's almost as if there's a full moon or something that is affecting them. It's very strange,
How are they off? Are they dancing offbeat?
Well, as they go through their routines, as they round, I'm almost afraid as if they're going to cut themselves, and they stumble, and they're just not quite in sync as usual. And I've had to kind of step in and dance some myself with it, whereas I usually don't, except within my own shows, to keep the crowd somewhat enthralled and entertained in what's going on. Very odd.
Is my mother all right?
Your mother? Oh, she's not in here at this moment. She's over at the stage, she seems fine. It's just the others. The other dancers are just having trouble. I don't know. Maybe tonight's Dark Tide's Eve.
Yes.
Well, they'll be putting out the lanterns around sunset, and I don't know about you, but with what's going on, I'm a bit scared tonight. And I heard Rain talking to Mother, and he said something about a prophecy, and the year of fears, and that we weren't ready. What do you think that means?
We're on our way to see Mother now, so if I learn anything, I will come back and assuage your fears, but just do what you can and try to help out.
I would like to go into the...
Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
Okay. I'd like to go through the tent real quick and see if anything looks out of place, like there's strange smoke or somebody
go ahead
rumbling on their...
Give me a perception check, please. Yeah, and while he's doing that, he maybe takes a few more tokens, and she says, I also overheard Nassi and Sarah talking the other day. It was very strange. They were talking about the Night Song troupe. Night Song is another Hanatos troupe, as you know. And, it was very interesting. It seems somebody tried to assassinate their Vendra a couple months ago, and they almost got the deed done, if what I heard was right, but she miraculously survived. Fleegan, you look around in the tent, seeming to recognize if there's anything that might cause them to be off their game, and nothing strikes you as out of the ordinary.
And the Vrendra is the seer?
The Vendra is the Kalnasi's counterpart, the female leader of the troop.
Ah, so...
The Bravda and the Vendra. Kalnasi is the Vendra of the Blue Veil troop.
My mother.
Yep.
Oh, it looks like another
I wonder
performance.
before
What's
Casey, because you said Gror supposedly looked pale. Does she look paler than she normally does?
Give me a perception check.
Or does anybody else at this point, other than perhaps Fleegan?
And pretty white.
Yeah, Fleegan not only he's already pale, but he still is a bit shaken up about what's going on. Go ahead and give me a perception check, Gror, to see if you feel like you recognize a difference between her and now and where she's been before. She is quite stunning to look at, and though she has red hair, her skin is often light, and you are distracted because of the beauty of her, and you were thinking about checking out whether she was pale, and you ended up just checking her out. So,
All right.
and she says, "Oh, so, friends,
Holding up to his reputation.
thank you for taking the time to come and visit, but must get started, and I need to get over by the stage, because if what keeps happening today happens again, I need to jump in a moment, and everybody's ready for the show. So, I wish you well, and we'll see you tonight at the tent fire."
Yes. Be well.
Yes, certainly.
All right. And as she's saying that, Kenna, something catches your eye. Just a moment. Here, I'm going to PM this to you.
Okay.
All right. So you guys want to do now?
Let's continue on to see the Mother Seer.
So there's this small black dog just ran up to me?
Yep.
Nobody else sees him?
Nope.
You guys see Kenna, she crouches down and looks like she's talking to something. I'll reach out and try to pet it.
And as you reach out to pet it, or no, actually, what happens is you turn to your friends and tell them what you tell them, and you reach out to pet it. And as you turn back around, the dog's gone.
Something wrong, sister?
Yeah, there was just a small black dog here. He had a nameplate that said Dragoon on his collar.
I didn't see a dog.
What are you talking about?
I'll look around to see if I can find where...
How big was this dog?
You don't see it
Quite
anywhere.
small.
I'm asking her.
He was quite small. He had floppy ears and very bright eyes. He was like begging for food.
Well, I'm sure he'll be around again, or found somebody else to go beg from. Ran off. You know how dogs...
Maybe I need to see the seer.
Come on, we're all going to go see the seer.
But we all need a turn with this here.
Or you all need a drink, one of the two, I don't know.
Here,
Or
here.
less of a drink.
Or should I say aye?
Do any of you remember? Did we partake in those kegs before we turned them in?
I didn't drink any.
I don't recollect that anybody.
No, I don't think we did.
We just carried them or rolled them across or whatever.
Mhm.
Well, Quimbar really does ask the group, though, if they did, because he is quite confused now. Everybody's seen something, and he's wondering if they did.
Speaking of the kegs,
not
we're
hearing
not to touch
things.
that stuff, and it's been spilled out behind the tents. And if we see anything from this Shiner group, we should actually steer well clear of it.
Okay.
By my father's words.
Your father is wise. We will do so.
Don't forget, people are hearing things too and seeing dogs.
Yes, hearing things. Haven't heard anything since we left the caverns, right? Or the well.
You haven't what since you left the well?
I haven't heard things like
No.
voices. Okay.
No, that the weird voices and the weird feelings were there at the well. This is the first time something like that has happened again to you.
Got it.
Okay. And you really haven't had this kind of thing happen before either. So you guys head towards the Sirius's tent, and I'll show you a picture of it here. In front of you is a pink rune and star-covered tent where Mother Salvenza uses the site to read the fortunes of the townies that come to visit the Carnival. As you look, you see a wide-eyed young farmhand exit the Sirius's tent. He seems to be staring off into space while muttering to himself under his breath. He is followed several moments later by Mother Salvenza herself. Her face lights up with a genuine smile when she sees you and purely waves you over, ignoring the line of hopeful and nervous locals that stand outside the entrance to her tent. And I'll show you a picture of Mother. There you go. There she is. You guys head over to her.
Oh, yes.
Yes, with all haste.
Yes.
She says, my friend, how goes the day? If Borag can spare ye for a moment, I have a favor to ask of ye.
Of course, Mother.
Her voice drops to a friendly and conspiratorial whisper as you come close and she leans into you. As you know, Jinx grants me the sight. As just a bit ago, I see the vision of a dark thing in the woods. I also see that there be some who deal in death at the Carnival today. I think you need to keep your eyes open. Some will try to spill blood today. But, my children, that is not the only problem that you can help me with. And then she lowers her voice even further and looks over your shoulders back towards Stu's tent. Over there, she points at a group of acolytes. Them figures themselves better diviners than old Salvenza they did. They didn't like what I saw, and they wouldn't pay. Please, go collect what they owe, and perhaps a bit more for that trouble. And they don't need to know their debt's been paid. For those of you with the sticky fingers, this should be no problem, yes?
They're not sticky.
What is it that they owe you? How much?
Just a moment here. I'm gonna.
It is never,
bring
ever
them forward.
a favor. It's an honor to help you, Mother.
Okay. So over by Stu's tent, there are 5 acolytes over there. The question was asked how much they owe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they, what is it, 5 sylves per reading. So, for the ones who are reading, she says, if you was to gain a lek or 2, that might settle the score a bit. Charlotte?
Yeah, or a whole money pouch.
I'm
That's
sure.
my fliegen. you knows what I talks about, do you not? Now go.
Fliegen will wink at her a couple times knowingly.
No, she says, no, go. See what you can get from them for me, shall we not?
Fliegen, do you want me to distract them, or can I?
Are they guys? The initiates?
The acolytes are 2 male and 3 women.
Okay.
So here's what we'll do, guys. Pharaoh's Kenna, I want you to distract them. I will help. Get this. Yeah. Anyways,
debts.
I will hand you the stuff so you can hand it back to the mother. Sound good?
Our standard
sounds like a
distract, sticky finger, handoff.
Yeah, that's a standard.
I think you might need another drink before you go to make sure that you're stronger. Here, and I pass him the draw at my father.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
as
get
you
him
are-
drunk right before he does it.
You guys and your drink, you're sure enjoying that, especially for youngsters.
Yes, we
as you're plotting on how you're going to go and get the money that Mother has asked you to recover for her, suddenly a brawny local woman in a leather apron, followed by half a dozen other angry locals, approaches. She stomps to the front of the line and points a finger at Mother Salvenza, yelling at her loudly so everyone in line can hear her. This old crone is a charlatan and a fraud. She spins webs of guesses and lies to dupe honest folk. Don't waste your hard-earned coin just to hear her babble nonsense to you. Rather than rising to the bait, you see Mother Salvenza's eyes start to cloud over. You have seen this happen before. Usually before the sight reveals something of importance to her. She silently stands before her accusers like a rigid statue. What do you all do?
I will step up to the woman and try to calm her down. I'll be like, ma'am, just because you didn't like what you did doesn't make her a charlatan.
Okay, give me a persuasion check, please.
You betcha.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Whoa.
Really?
You made her madder.
As you step up to her to say that, she is in a raging torrent of fury. And
Spit everywhere.
her face is just beet red. And she is so mad that if she did hear you, she didn't even acknowledge the fact that you said something to her. What else?
I will do my best to step between the mother and this blacksmith woman.
Okay, give me an intimidation check.
Gladly.
There we go.
Alright. So, kind of spread out a little bit here. And you, Theros, go ahead and position yourself where you're going. Okay. She pauses for a moment as she sees you step in place there, and you kind of the full bulk of your size and gesture gives her a pause. As she seems to recognize that she may have to go through you to get to her. And what happened? Yeah, she seems to back down. but not withdraw. Who else is doing something?
So Fleegan would like to kind of act like he's part of the angry crowd towards the back here. Find a rather rich-looking peasant or local and see if he has anything that needs to be liberated.
Okay. Give me a sleight of hand check, please.
Quimbar in the back is quite fearful for the woman and her chance that if someone had clobbered her, he wouldn't expect her to survive, let alone have a chance of being healed. So he'll put a shield of faith on her, stand in the back, pull a little parchment, read a few words off of it to put a shield of faith on Cirrus.
Okay, so you cast Shield of
Mother.
Faith on Mother Salvenza. So she's going to have go. Fleegan, you notice a small pouch. See what there be there. That you liberate from the individual. And it contains 2 golds and 20 silves. If I forget to tell you. Small leather pouch that you have in your possession at this
So
time.
I will liberate half of that
Okay.
and then quickly toss it behind him and poke him in the arm and say, "Hey, is that yours?"
Give me another sleight of hand check, real quick. Okay, yeah. He turns around and that and goes, "Hey, what? Well," and his what once was an angry demeanor seems to soften a bit in appreciation for the fact that you found his bag of coins and that you were kind enough to make him aware of that. So, all right.
Well done.
Kember cast Shield of Faith on her. Gror, did you take an action? All right, hearing none from Gror, we will go back to, or Gror, were you going to do something?
Oh, yeah, I'm muted. That's my fault. Is the angry one directly to the south of Mother?
She's right here.
Yeah, okay. I'll just move up to where I just moved to, then.
Okay. All right. She is. She's kind of cooled her jets a little bit by Theros getting in the way, but she's still not going to take no for an answer. And she looks over at Theros, and then she looks at Mother, and she says, She needs to pay. She needs to not be fleecing us by telling us strange things that make no sense. So what do you guys do to that? She's not ready to back down.
I'm going to go ahead and kind of talk real loud to get possibly her attention and the others. Say, my friends, today is to enjoy ourselves. You have come here to do that, have you not? Why then are you upset by the Cirrus's words? Is it not for your enjoyment? There are drinks to be had, food to be eaten. A giant bear was slain earlier, and now you might partake in its meat. It says, do not let this bug you. Move on, enjoy yourselves. It is not a time for anger and fight. Let's have fun, dance, drink, be merry. There is more here. You don't have to stand around this old woman's tent. You can go on. Try yourselves at wrestling if you need to get out any of your steam.
All right.
Anyways, I'm just trying to calm them down and distract them. And the reason I got behind them is so that they would have to turn away and focus on me. And that possibly could give, the Cirrus a chance to to get back in her tent if she can. Of course, I know she's in a trance, so that's not good.
Yeah, she's in a trance at this point, but your speech is quite powerful. Fleegan jumped in to kind of assist you with that with some statements, so go ahead and give me a persuasion roll with advantage, please.
Oh, how do you do the advantage again? I forgot.
Just do a persuasion roll. It should roll 2.
Yep.
That's right.
Everybody gets that, yeah. Okay.
Nice.
All right.
Take the advantage.
So as you began your speech, they were ignoring you. And then Fleegan mentioned something about bear meat, and that seemed to get their attention, and they kind of turned around and recognized that you were talking and started to pay more attention to what you were saying. After the long persuasive speech that you gave, they seemed to kind of settle down a little bit more. Kenna? Anything you're doing?
Yeah, I'm just trying to their attention away and keep them focused on Kimber and, make sure that they're not harassing Mother.
Okay. They haven't seemed to aggressively move towards her at any moment, and they're listening to Kimber's speech. Theros, anything you're doing?
I'm going to just slowly take, while they're not paying attention, just take a step closer to gain a little bit of ground between the mother and the blacksmith.
Okay.
Theros is, who was it that's a blacksmith? Is that Gror?
No, it's Theros.
No,
Theros.
That's
Well,
right.
I've done some blacksmithing.
Yeah, Theros forged his weapon, so he knows.
That's
he knows
right.
a bit of that. Yes.
Basic stuff.
Yep. All right.
My fellow blacksmith, would you mind helping me with a small issue with my axe?
Give me a persuasion roll, please.
Sorry, it was all buggy. Roll like 4 times.
We take the first one, and she looks over at your axe and just kind of shakes her head a little bit, seeing that it's definitely homemade. Doesn't really say anything, but doesn't seem to be really interested in conversing with you about that at this moment. Okay, Fleegan, are you doing anything?
I'm just going to keep building on what Kimber said. Say things like, "There's a puppet show if you really like it. There's strange animals over there. There's dancing girls over here. There's food over there and drink over there. And did I mention the puppet show?
And we have a cow.
We have a cow that kills snakes.
Snake killing cows. That's unusual.
That's the
A
win.
snake killer."
Cow for the win. Hey, is there anybody else that's working the carnival around right near us that I might be able to ask to lead these people over and flip them a coin that I know could buy them all a drink?
Say that again.
I'm not wanting to lead this group to get a drink, but if there's another worker, helper that can do it, that's close by, I'd rather give them a coin and offer these fine young people or old people, whatever they might be, a drink. Have them lead them over.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a persuasion.
Always that persuasion.
They're, they were surprised or entranced by your speech after Fleegan kind of got them interested in that, and they hear drink, but then the blacksmith actually turns around and realizes that they're focused on you and not really backing her up as they need to, and she goes, "Oi! Oi, you lot! Drink? Maybe. Recompense now. I can't believe she's done what she's done and what she's said to my husband and told him that he needs to leave me and join your troop and go off and be a carnival worker. Why would she tell him such a tale? You all, if you're not gonna be with me and she's not going to own up to what she's done and how she's ruined my marriage, this is just not a bother. Maybe we shouldn't do that. And she just kind of seems to want to give up at this point and says, I just need to get back to work. And she starts to head off back towards Sellers Row.
Ouch.
And the others kind of look at you, Kimber, about free drink, and look at her and realize that, you're all kind of a untrustworthy group in their opinions because they're locals, and they kind of simmer down and they just shake their heads and kind of head off in various directions, and at this point fade off into the crowd.
Well, that was
you guys were successful in diffusing the situation here.
That was
puts
cringeworthy.
his arm around the mother and says, let's get her into her tent quickly.
Yes.
Okay, just a moment here. All right. All right. Shortly, at right about the same time as they continue to disperse, and you guys move towards Mother Salvenska, she begins to mumble as if she is seeing and speaking a vision, as you've seen her do before. But what she says is gibberish. You do not understand what it is that she is saying. It seems just babble, just old senile babble coming from her. And Fleegan, did you have anything you wanted to say about that?
Well, is she speaking anything I can understand?
You do understand it, yes.
Okay. Guys, I think we might need to write this down. She keeps repeating this thing. It's a poem. She's saying, far away in the darkness lie the pace of them who live to die. The rot's decay comes from the deep. Veiled terrors in the shadows creep. The darkest night brings evil's rise. The screaming silence in night skies. A somber truth behind black stone. The lie you find is yours alone. In shadowed mists, ye seek your path. In ancient depths, you seek his wrath. The time does come, when all must choose. Learn well. Saw trickery's godly ruse. Doesn't sound good, guys.
I'll repeat that all again so I can write it down. I'm just kidding.
I can copy that into here for you.
Thank you.
In fact, you know what? I'm just going to show you guys the handout because it's a better way to do it.
Be afraid.
Welcome back, my friend. You've missed the horrible omen spoken to us just a moment ago.
Why me?
Right.
Why me?
And she she swoons a little bit from that, and after words, she kind of snaps out of the trance, and she looks around at you all, kind of blinking and staring, and says, "Oh, what be that? Oh, I must have just had the sight."
Yes.
Does any of this make sense to you?
Sometimes when I have the sight, I do not remember what it is that I see. Did I speak much?
Yes, Mother.
Oh, and she kind of swoons a little bit and staggers, and she puts her hand up to her head, and she says, thank you again, dear friend. I find myself feeling most very. Don't worry about me. I just need to sit in a spin. And she forces a weak smile that isn't entirely convincing.
Can we take her hand and guide her to her tuffet or whatever she sits on?
You can, but she thanks you for her to sit, and she says, I must rest. Off with you now. Borak needs you to be keeping an eye for whatever would trouble the troop, yes?
Yes.
Go now. I need to rest.
Have the acolytes left?
Yeah, they have all dispersed back into the crowd.
No, the acolytes, not the locals.
The locals. Yes, as you guys turn back, they have actually also, in the distraction that you just dealt with, disappeared.
Darn it.
Well, getting payment from others works, doesn't it?
We might see them again. We'll take the opportunity if we do.
Hopefully they weren't led into the forest again.
Yeah, let's keep an eye out for them.
Okay.
Were those the same acolytes or the same group at least?
No, they were different.
Didn't think so.
Yeah, there were only 3 in the other group. Or 2 or 3.
There's 2.
There were 2.
There's
a lot of acolytes.
Lots of acolyting going around here.
Yeah, there's actually a. You guys have been here long enough to know there's a abbey nearby.
Are they from the same abbey? I mean,
yeah.
are they from the same whatever monastery type?
Yeah, there's a lot of gods in this world, and often the abbeys and the temples stuff will have a conglomerate of various faith holders, and so they would be from the same group, but they might have follow different gods.
It's not called the douchebag abbey, is it?
It should be.
Oh no, but take inspiration if you don't have it already. That's my friend. So, all right. So she sits in there. She waves you off, asks for a tent closed, as she's not open for business at this moment, and motions you on. So, where would you guys like to go from? Would you like?
Well, we didn't get any answers to what Fleegan was seeing.
No.
Maybe tonight?
Yeah, we'll have to come back. Mother's not up to another telling.
Certainly not. That was rather unusual.
We should go check Sellers Row then, make sure that it's okay since we're so close to it.
Yeah.
Checking out dwarven ladies.
All right. As you guys think about heading off towards Sellers Row, something catches your eye that you've seen from time to time. You recognize, and you see a 7-foot tall man with crooked, oversized teeth wading through the crowds. He has 2 large metal rods with chunks of meat spitted on them slung across his shoulder, and a crude cleaver in his other hand. As he meanders around the carnival, he shouts,
"Pig! Good pig! Tasty pig! 1 sil for a rib, 5 for a rack!"
Is he a member of the troop?
He is not a member of the troop.
Okay.
Gror and Kenna, give me a perception check.
That's better.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right.
You're looking at
Gror
flowing beards.
was somewhat had his eyes fixed upon this man, and Kenna was kind of looking around after recognizing her and kind of, always being wary and vigilant of what's going on. And here's some people from the crowd actually say, "Oh, he's one of them Shiner thugs. Don't buy his meat." And they're just talking amongst themselves. And you hear the other one say back, "Yeah, I hear he came down from Butcher's farm with those slabs of meat. Some say folks go up there, they never come back. Yep, they still got hogs up there, but all I know is I wouldn't trust that I wasn't gnawing on somebody I knew."
Kenna will relate this to the group that's a Shiner thug, and that there's a farm that he came down from. Yeah, I'll pass on all that information.
Okay. All right, you guys discuss that at all?
As she kind of retches slightly.
Perhaps we should not partake in his meat, but inspect it. We could approach as if we're buyers and then let him get us a piece, and then once we know it is gross or despicable, then we'll have to tell him so.
I'd rather just we were told to avoid the Shiners.
At all. Completely.
Question, Casey. Do we allow people to walk through Carnival like him selling food?
Yeah, there are various vendors from the town over there in Sellers Row, and there are some vendors that may wander through, and so it's not out of the ordinary for it to happen, but give me a insight check.
So, my brothers and sister, he may be some sort of distraction or scout. Says, who would buy from that likes of that such a man? Says he's here for something else than selling that meat.
Kismia not be with Theros.
Nope.
Theros was thinking about, is this something that would be allowed? And he gets distracted by something else happening with one of the youngsters running by as you see your little brother, Janeg, kind of come over and kick you in the back of the shins as he's wont to do in a playful little trick, and he takes off running back towards the tall tent because he's a little shit.
Yeah, he got you a natural one.
Yes, he did.
So
I think we should throw him out. If it wasn't for his kind of people, I wouldn't have had to go down this well, and now I have this fear of spiders.
Leave him be.
I thought you were always afraid of spiders, Fleegan.
Not spiders. These are monster spiders. They're big as me.
They're bigger than you are.
Exactly.
Leave him be. No, it doesn't look like anyone's buying his meat anyway.
right.
Well, I like that idea. Let's kick him out.
I rolled a natural 1 on insight.
You guys see him kind of wander off in the crowd up the entrance area around the other side of the tent as he passes on by. Where do you guys want to go from here? What do you...
I think we're going to take a line through Sellers Row and then back around and follow the same pattern we did before. Except maybe between the tall tent and the illusion tents instead of all the way out by the cows.
Okay.
That way Fleegan's other shoe can stay clean.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Is everybody in Sellers Row part of the troop, or are they part of the town?
Both.
Both.
All right, so go ahead and go and put your guys' tokens in the Sellers Row area.
Is the glass blowing tent?
Glass blowing tent would be right over here.
I was by that trying to peek in through the tent flaps.
Okay. Give me a. Are you doing it openly or are you doing it quietly? Are you peeping or?
I'm
We have a peeping grower.
walking patrol, but trying to look over there as if I think I'm very sly.
Yeah, give me give me a deception roll, please.
Awesome.
Yeah, that worked really well. See, I told you.
Awesome.
Wow. And the hits just keep on a-coming.
Yes. So you head over there, kind of peek in the tent, and as you're getting close, there was a stick or something sticking out of the ground that you didn't see because you're really trying to look for the girl. And you trip and stumble forward, and unfortunately hit a rack that's holding some pretty pieces of blown glass and knock them down to the ground, and they smash on the ground, making a big calamity. And she looks up at you with just this horrific look on her face, like, I can't believe you just did that to my wares. What do you do?
Well, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. There's this stick here, and I didn't see it. And oh my gosh, how can I help make this up to you? This is terrible.
Give me a performance check.
And I'll bend down and start trying to pick stuff up.
Give me a performance check, please.
I just want to let you know, Quimbar is kind of not really looking at the Sellers Row so much. He's trying to look past the tents and stuff, see if he can notice that guy that's trying to sell the meat, or the blue maroon woman, or anything else. Right now, his attention's kind of far off.
Kimber's just kind of daydreaming at this point.
Yeah.
Thinking about anchors under there. The Grower is attempting to kind of save face from what just, and she's upset about what you did, and she looks over at you and she says, "Oh, my, you! I just." Wow, and she's just kind of she's lost for words as to what happens, and you see her turn a little bit red under the beard, and just doesn't know what to do at this point with you.
He's as smooth as 10 grit sandpaper.
He says, "I know. Who could have thought this would happen? I should have known that there was this dangerous route here. Let me help clean all this up. I'm so sorry."
Give me a persuasion check. All right.
I have like a 20-sided die, or am I rolling an 8? What is that?
I'll go back. Go ahead.
As we've said in the past, leaking happens, and you're trying to save face in one last ditch effort to try and see if you can help her out, and that spittle just kind of comes out of your face and just kind of splatters on some of the glass that she's blowing at this moment, and it just kind of pops and sizzles, and causes a deformation to form in the glass, and it just kind of crackles and melts underneath it. And she just kind of looks down at the tongs that she was holding that blown glass with and everything. She just shakes her head, and she just says, "Go, just go. Don't stop. Don't talk. We're done." All right. What was that, Theros?
Oh, I was going to try
He
to
doesn't
save
listen. He just
himself,
says he's
but that
very
was-
sorry and
I'm
keeps
too
cleaning
late.
up.
Okay. So Gore's done. So Theros, say that again.
I was going to go over and try to save him from himself, but too late.
Too late.
Too late. Yes. All right.
Like from the dice, really.
Yeah. Theros, give me a perception check, please.
I see everything.
Yes.
Everything.
I see time.
I see dead things. All right. As you were passing through a dense knot of people over toward Gror, as he was trying to save himself and just couldn't, you pass through a dense knot of people, and one of the faces in the crowd stands out to you. And after a moment, you're sure you know this person, though you can't place them.
I'll casually walk up and, excuse me, you look familiar. Where have I seen you before?
And it's a young male individual with he's a human, and he seems rather startled at the fact that you would tap him on the shoulder, and also startled at the fact that you're twice his size. And he looks at you and he kind of shakes his head and he says, "Hey, sir, I'm not sure. I have seen you before, but is there something that I can help you with?"
Oh no, just being friendly with everyone around, and you look familiar. Just saying hi is like a old friend that I just can't place.
And he's got a companion with him, and he looks over at his female companion, kind of gives her a sideways glance and looks back at you and like, no. And he gingerly reaches around behind her as almost to protect her, thinking that maybe something strange is going on here. And he kind of sidesteps and kind of pushes her to step off kind of towards another one of the tents, and just tries to get away without even acknowledging any more of your presence. Do you do anything else?
Did she look familiar?
No, she's not.
I'll just make mental note of where he went to.
Okay. All right. Yeah, he heads off towards the jeweler's tent right over here.
Okay. And I'll just confer with my companions. Did you guys see him? Did he look familiar to you?
See who?
That guy over there that went over to the jeweler's tent. The guy I was talking to.
Did we see him or recognize him?
Did he look like an acolyte?
With
No,
a
he did not
girlfriend.
look like an. Well, or did you ask him that? He did not look like an.
Did we see
Did
him?
we? Yeah, did we see him at all?
Did you see him?
Yes.
Yeah, did we
We're
see him?
wondering if he's having the strange visions that everybody else has been having.
Oh, do you point him out? Do you point him out, Theros, to the others?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You guys can see him. Yep.
Okay. Do we recognize him at all?
Not a vision. Nope. You do not.
What about
recognize
her? Do we recognize her?
Nope. You do not recognize her at all either.
Okay.
How are they dressed? Like fairly rich, poor, tradesmen?
They are
Sunday
dressed. I wouldn't say that they're upper class, but middle class. They probably have some sort of way of gaining enough money to live a modest life. But nothing special. They don't look super rich. They don't look super poor either.
Middle class peasantry.
What's that?
Middle class peasantry.
Yeah, something like that.
Quimbar looks up at Theros. Brother, did you notice the man do something strange? What is it that's caught your attention?
He's just familiar. I can't quite place him, but I'm sure I've seen him before.
What do you want to do about it? Would you like Fleegan or one of us to follow them while the rest of us stay further back?
I think that would be a good idea, Fleegan. Do you think you can trail them and we will continue our rounds? We'll meet you on the other side of the tall.
Oh, yeah, send the gnome after him. Yeah. No, power to the gnome.
Do you think they've got some money?
Quiet, Fleegan. You're too loud.
Oh, sorry.
If nothing worse, they look like they have a little coin for sticky fingers.
No, they didn't do anything against me or anybody on the troop. I'm not going to hurt them. But I will watch them for you.
I'm too big to watch them. They'll notice me. But you're unassuming.
And super handsome.
Anyways, just think of it as part of your job. They've caught Theros' eyes for some reason.
So you guys want to head on?
Yes, I will watch them. I will follow them.
Okay, so you guys want to head on?
Yep.
All right, so you pass through Sellers Row. Nothing else really seems to happen. Nobody seems to be doing anything that would be of concern to you. The knickknacks and stuff are fairly nice to look at, but knowing that you shouldn't dawdle for a while, you guys move on and start making your rounds up past the backside of the tall tent, heading towards the stage there. And you see that there's a performance going on at this time with a couple of dancers. So why don't you guys head on over to the stage in this area right here.
Do we lose track to Kimber? Do we lose? What's up? Do we lose track of those two that Fleegan we're going to follow?
No, not necessarily, but they're just kind of milling around the shops there.
I will keep an eye and see if they're going to steal anything, and if they don't do anything within like 15 minutes, I'll catch up with the rest of the group.
Okay. All right. So Fleegan keeps an eye on them, and the others head on over towards the stage. Here, I'm going to show you a picture of the stage here. So south and west of the tall tent, a great old oak rises up from the field, its thick branches spreading wide above your heads. Directly in front of the gnarled giant is a wooden stage that is set up for performances of poetry, song, and dance. When not captivating audiences in the tent of veils during one of the high mystiques of the tall tent, El Nas, Savra, and Mavia may often be found here, but others perform here as well. Currently, the two bards, Grayson and Grelda, stand atop the stage playing their lute and pipe for a rather large crowd. With them are Draiane and Talcia, two of the troupe's younger spell dancers who are still learning the magical dances of people. You arrive as their enrapturing performance comes to a close. Claps and cheers erupt from the packed area around the stage. Though the applause, however, seems to dwindle, you hear a series of slurred shouts from the front row. Encore! Encore! Hey, you! Do another one! Hey, Shazat! You see the dancers and the bards visibly frown at the use of the unfriendly word. Make the pretty dancers do another one. Again next time. Come on, take it on. The performers turn to file off the back of the stage as the irritated shouts continue. Hey! Hey! Why aren't you listening to me? What do you think? You're too good for me? I mean, come on, let's see it. And one belligerent man stands up and angrily points his finger at the dancers. These traveling whores will do anything for a shiny sylph. Come on, get dancing, wenches. What do you do?
I'll walk along in front of the stage and in front of him.
And I'll walk up behind
We'll
him.
go with him too, with Theros.
I'll come up behind him.
Okay, he's right over here. Yeah, he's standing there. He's a fairly large man. Seems to be quite inebriated. So you edge your way through the crowd to reach this obnoxious drunkard, but his harassment continues. And as you near the man, he actually, before you get there, he pulls himself up on stage. Grayson and Grelda step forward to move between the drunk man and the two young women, while the two dancers give on a nervous look towards you guys all. Unlike the other spell dancers who could use their magic to deal with the lot, these two apprentice spell dancers are still mastering their craft, so they're a little nervous. So Grayson and Grelda move over there to kind of approach him. What do you guys do?
I misty step in front of him.
Okay. So
Or just wants to try to grab him.
in front of him, where? Kenna, show me where you want to go.
Well, as he's going up on the stage, I'm going to jump right in front of him between him and everyone else.
Okay.
To just teleport, boom, right there.
Okay. So you misty step at that point, and he says, "Oh, I want to see more of that one. Oh, come on. What are you guys doing? Is this not an entertainment venue? You think that you stand up here and your whores show us a little tease, but then they won't give out?
They are not whores. They are performers. You need to leave."
Give me a intimidation check, please.
Dang it.
Not bad.
All right.
Not bad.
He sees you and he sees your blades, and he sees how they're made of fine serric iron steel, and you see his eyes flit to them and then flip back up into your eyes, and he kind of staggers around a little bit, but he then belches in your face and just blows out this great plume of fetid, stale, alcoholic air. As he looks at you and he goes, "Oh, well, you look like one of them as well. Maybe tree and, shall we say, dance the dance."
Can Grow grab him from behind now?
Gror could grab him from behind. Yes, go ahead and give me a either athletics or acrobatics, your choice.
Dwarven fine art of choking people.
All right, so Gror
Except this time, he chokes himself.
reaches up to try and grab the man, and as he's doing that, it was just as the man was leaning up into Kenna's face to try and entice her to go behind the oak with her, and he steps backwards after that big nasty belch and stamps right on top of Gror's hand, and kind of pins it down to the stage. Theros or Kimber, what are you doing at this moment?
Been cursed!
Kimber is keeping an eye on the crowd to see if this is bringing any attention, or kind of moves up a little bit, but also looking around.
All right. Another onlooker from the crowd, and actually two, seem to be interested in what's taking place here, and move over towards the stage. And they kind of stagger around a little bit. One's female and one's male, and the female is this one right here. And she kind of steps up over behind Kenem, and she says, "Oh, you filthy little whore! You think that he is worth your while? I do not think so. He's just drunk. You enticing wench, you! I can't." And the other male, who is even more inebriated, kind of stands and goes over there and begins to try and bull rush Gror, as he spied that he was trying to reach out to grab the other man. So Gror, go ahead and give me a athletics or acrobatics check as he charges you.
Something other than roll? I'm just kidding.
You do have a d20 in there somewhere, right?
Athletics or what?
Athletics or acrobatics, your choice.
There we
All
go.
right. The man attempts to charge you and kind of grab onto you, because he saw that you were trying to grab the other man. And you see him coming after your hand got stamped on, and you jump out of the way, and the man falls prone on the ground right at your feet, and actually passes out on the ground. He was so drunk. So he's out cold on the ground. All right, what else do you guys want to do?
I'm going to intimidate the drunkard that's on the stage.
Okay.
Time to leave.
Okay, give me an intimidation check, please. He kind of looks over you and he sizes you up, and he actually reaches over, and I'm going to give you an athletics check. But
Okay.
he reaches over to try and very flamboyantly, or not very obviously try to Kenna right in the breast, in defiance of what Theros said. All right. Kenna, you were kind of keeping your eye on what Theros was doing in anticipation of what might happen, and you don't see it as he plants a big, meaty, slimy hand right on your left breast.
Oh, that's no. I am shoving him right off the stage.
Okay.
Kick.
Are you kicking him, or you're shoving him? You're pushing him off the stage.
I'll kick him off the stage.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and give me a acrobatics or athletics, your choice.
That should work.
All right. Let's see what we got here. All right. Yes. You kick him right in the gut, right off the stage, and he tumbles to the ground. Yeah, we'll put him right there. He takes 1 damage as he hits the ground. And let's see if he falls prone. He does not fall prone. He does hit the ground and stands up on his legs and everything like that. He goes, "Oi! Oh, you bitch!" And
We are not for touching.
I think at this point, everybody go ahead and roll initiative, please.
Select your token.
All right, so Kenna was at a 21?
Yep.
And then Theros got a 5. And Gor got a 17. And Kimber got a 9. And Fleegan is also a 9, but he's over there, not really knowing what's going on. Actually, Fleegan got a 20. Never mind. But he's over there, not really knowing what's going on. So,
Yeah,
all right,
I think
initiative
it'll take me
order.
a while to get over there.
Kenna, and you do hear kind of a rouse of voices, Fleegan, coming from the direction that everybody went. But that's all you really hear. Kenna, what are you doing?
I'm going to, holding on to my sword but leaving it sheathed, I'm going to be like, it is time for you to leave the welcome here.
Okay, so you try and intimidate him to back down?
Yeah, or persuade, one of the two, whatever.
Persuade?
Yeah.
Okay, will you tell me, is it more intimidative or persuasive?
Intimidation is
Okay.
more appropriate,
Give me
I
an
think.
intimidation check then, and we'll see. All right. He is drunk and seems to be wary of you at this point, and so though he seems upset as what's going on, he doesn't seem to want to take aggressive action. So Gror, you kind of see him back down a little bit. What do you want to do?
Want to grab him from behind.
You broke up. Say it again.
Grab him from behind, step up on the stage and grab him.
Okay. So you're going to pull yourself up on the stage and then kind of grab him. Okay, go ahead and give me acrobatics or athletics, your choice.
I use inspiration in advance of a bad roll already.
You can use inspiration anytime you want. You can use it after you roll or before you roll.
Oh, okay.
Your first roll was better, so you can choose whether to use it or not.
With the first.
Okay. All right. So you try and grab him, but he's stronger than you are, and he's able to pull free from your grasp as you try and grab him. And while this is happening, a couple more of the crowd kind of step in, seeing things are starting to get kind of heated, and step into the fray. And this one right here is kind of menacing. Kember, you're up. Kember, what do you want to do?
Let's see, I was going to pay the drunk lady some attention. Now I've got some other fool in my face, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess when he steps up in front of me, I will just, I'll hold up my holy symbol in his face and say, "Luck is not with you, my friend." And I will cast light on my holy symbol right in his face.
Okay.
It's kind of dark out here, right?
No, not really. Not really, but you're just trying to give a light shining in his face. So
yeah, I'd try to shed light in his face, yeah.
Yeah, let's go ahead and make a dexterity save here. And just as you do that, Something must have caught the individual's eye, and they look back over behind and off of the way, and they don't get a face full of light from you.
Okay.
So it does not affect them. All right. So, and then seeing the light kind of flash as you flash your mace up in front of him, that individual takes a swing at you. And is going to hit you right in the gut for 4 bludgeoning damage.
Ouch.
Why did
you do that?
Because he thought you were going to attack him with your mace. The female drunkard there, Kenna, is not impressed with what's going on and decides that she's going to scratch you. And
Or not.
She actually misses. And she tries to scratch you. The big boy, the original big boy that you kicked off the stage, flips around on Gror and tries to grab him by the ankles. So Gror, give me a athletics or acrobatics check, please, and contest to that. All right, he grabs you by the ankle and picks you up and throws you on the other side of him. Go ahead and give me an athletics check to see if you fall to the ground, prone.
Can use inspiration on that, I guess, to get it there.
Yeah, you can use your inspiration on that to not go prone to the ground and not take any damage from getting thrown off the stage to the ground beside him. And then this one right here is going to try and kick you and miss as you're flying on by. Well, something interesting happens after this. You see hang on just a second.
Quick question. 15 AC, so did he actually deal that damage? Because I was 16.
I thought he rolled a 16. He rolled a 15. Wow, for some reason I wasn't seeing that. So no, he actually, his punch actually bounces off of your armor. Sorry, I thought he rolled 15. Apparently I'm not.
It.
Yeah, apparently I'm not reading very well. Just a moment. All right. Something very interesting happens. Seeing what's going on, Grayson and Gerelda, the two bards that are up on the stage, kind of back up a little bit, give each other a knowing look as things start to kind of devolve into a ball, and have a little fun with this, and they actually strike up a tune. It's a well-known tune called the Jing Jangle Jew. And it's kind of a body song. What?
Don't have the sense they was born with.
Oh, don't play.
Background music is awesome.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Can you hear it?
The jeering and stuff, yeah.
Here we go. 3, 2,
So you guys can hear the music and I cannot. Okay, well fine, I'll let you listen. So you guys hear the music?
Yep.
Okay, well that's good. Okay. Is it too loud? Because I honestly can't. So
Turn down a little.
Okay.
It's not bad.
Okay. All right, well, just a hair or whatever. So yeah, the jing jingle in there as they're playing this body song about a few things. As the melee spreads across the stage and the song rings out, and the young spell dancers muster their courage and return, joining in the opportunity to put their skills to use on the scoundrels. They call them shazats, wenches, and worse. And with amazing finesse, they playfully weave their way through the chaos of the brawl, making the entire affair appear as if it was just another act. And they whirl and weave across the stage, and the drunkards are left distracted and bemused, leaving openings for you to strike. As the fight progresses, you almost feel your own punches and blocks falling into a rhythm set by the music and the dance. So more actually join in the fray at this point. And it just turns into an all-out drunken brawl for the others as they jump in. What's going on? As the fight progresses, you almost feel your own punches and blocks falling into a rhythm set by the music and the dance, in a complex yet wordless harmony, driving you to fight with unprecedented coordination. A few of the onlookers are shouting their displeasure at your treatment of their fellow townsfolk, but most are treating the onstage brawl as another attraction, cheering you on from all around. The patrons of the wrestling ring on the other side of the tall tent have moved to the stage to get a better look and are hastily placing wagers and excitingly whooping each time a fist connects with its target. And so you guys just start slinging punches and kicks and everything as it just turns into an all-out brawl. Some have tankards that are swinging. Some have shoes that they're taking off and throwing at you. Grayson and Grill are spinning a fine tune, as you can hear. I would like each one of you in, and actually with all this that's going on, Fleegan, you end up over in this area, what's going on as well. So, Kenna, I'm going to go in initiative order, and I want you to describe how you interact at this point and how you take out a drunkard or two and maybe what has happened to you as well.
I go into full spell dancer dervish pirouette of the blade, but I do not unsheathe my sword. I just smack the crud out of people with them still in the sheath.
Yeah. Okay, and you take a couple down in the doing of that. Fleegan, you're running up to see what's going on. Do you jump into the fray, or what do you do?
Well, before I run over there, I would like to do something.
What's that?
I'm going to walk up to the people that have been watching and say,
"Excuse me, sir. My name's Fleegan, and that big guy you talked to, his name is Theros, and he seems to know who you are. Can I ask her what your name is, and what your name and her name is, and what do you guys do, so I can report back?"
They kind of look at you, and they look at each other, and they grab their purse, and they take off running.
Okay, thanks. Nice talking to you. I gotta go. Bye.
Okay. And so you run over to the stage there. Do you jump in the fray, or what do
you... Yeah, of course I do.
Okay. All right, tell me what you do. Give me a narration. Yeah. Give me a narration of what you do.
So the one right here that looks like it's next to Kimber, I'm going to go running and doing a full body leap head first into his legs, hopefully his knees, to try to knock him over.
Okay.
It's called spearing. It's a penalty.
You know how kids do it. They just keep running and head first.
They do. This is all role play, so you tell me, do you see something bad happen?
Could you repeat that?
I said this is all role play. You don't actually have to roll for this one. I want you to tell me whether you succeed or not. If you don't, what happens?
Oh yeah, I knock him over and we go down in a big pile with him sitting on top of me.
Okay. He's sitting on you there, and the tumbling of that, he had had a bit too much to drink, and the tumbling of that kind of turned his stomach around, and he actually vomits right off to the side of you as he falls down hard on you.
At least it wasn't on you.
Yeah. The
Is it
smell
somewhere
of
near
that.
my clean shoe?
A little bit of it splashes on your tunic a little. Yeah, because of all of that, there's just one more thing that may make it to where people don't want to grab onto you. So I go to Gror. What happens with you?
I'm gonna try to reach back up and grab that guy's feet and pull them out from under him, throwing him onto his back, and then jump up and get on top of him.
Okay. Do you succeed?
Of course.
Okay. Right. Well, you slam him onto the stage, and it knocks the wind out of him, and you jump up on top of him and straddle him. And what do you do? Do you punch him? Do you do something else?
I'm going to go for intimidation, and I'll grab his collar and pull it up really tight into my bearded face, teeth snarling and spitting, probably worse than earlier, and yell at him, "Your fight is over! Stay down!"
Okay, and after you slammed him on the stage and you jump on him and you yell at him, he's sitting there gasping as the wind is knocked out of him, and he looks at you in the eyes, and all of a sudden you see his eyes just kind of roll back in his head, and he just passes out underneath you. All right, Kimber, you're up. What do you do in this fancy brawl?
Well, let's see. Let me just understand. I have Fliegen in front of me rolling around with a man who is vomiting. Kenna's got 3 around her. Which one is facing me?
Which one is facing you? This one is facing you.
I think that's the one I tumbled on.
No, you're on top of the one you tumbled on. So
You're right.
Yeah, so the one facing you is that one right there.
Kimber will see this stranger enter into the brawl and realize he is drunk as much as the rest of them and is only wanting to enter this fight not because he is mad, but because he thought he might have some fun. So Kimber will sort of drunkenly or fake drunk stumble forward towards the guy, ducking underneath his first swing, and then come up underneath one of his arms and throw my hand around his shoulders and tumble back to where he is again with this man and sort of start walking off with him as if I am his best friend and we need to go get more to drink, for this fight is just boring, and who wants to break their nose when they can have more fun drinking, and sort of walk off with him and just kind of sort of let him go and hope he just keeps walking away.
Okay.
Sort of a bit of trickery.
Yep, and in fact he does. He just kind of keeps on walking, thinking that you're going to buy him a drink.
Right.
All right. And then Theros, what is it that you do in this brawl?
Since it is a stage, are you ready to rumble? Turns it into a WWE ring. And he proceeds to clothesline this one as he moves crossed over him. Then jumps over Grar and does a flying body slam onto this one, taking him out.
Thank you, Steve Austin.
Yeah. All right. And then, so this one's out. Way here. This one's out. This one's out. This one's out.
At least the drunk woman and someone else.
Yeah. So there's 2 on either side of you. How do you handle those? I'll let you take both of them down.
Well, the other one that charged, not the woman. I just, as he's running up, I just smack him in the face with my sword, knock him down, and then I turn to her and I'm like, "You down now." As I'm holding both sheathed swords and just, like threatening her to her knees.
Yeah, she sees all the rest of it going down and realizes that maybe this wasn't such a good idea to get involved in it, and she goes down to her knees and kind of crawls across the ground and tries to crawl away and get away from you guys. So yeah, you guys managed to defuse that situation without too much harm as well. So
the one that grabbed me, I'm dragging him to the friggin' guards at the front gate. Literally dragging him.
All right, so the
might
last
need some help with that.
Yeah. The last of the rowdy locals collapses to the floor of the stage with a heavy thud, and the crowd erupts in cheers at the impressive display, and some even begin to toss coins up onto the platform. The dancers curtsy, and Grayson makes a deep bow with a flourish of his hat, and Grelda waves to the applauding mass, and then they turn and thank you, and encourage you to bow as well. Diraine and Talstia give hugs all around, while Grayson and Grelda waste no time in gathering up the coins that have been thrown onto the stage during the brawl.
I do a sort of drunkenly funny kind of stumble forward bow. Come back up, smile and a laugh.
The crowd cheers, and it seems at this point they think that it was a part of the show and this was just staged and it was put on, but they were quite entertained by what happened.
Or does the Sammy gets up and puts one foot on that big guy's chest and bows really deeply, trying to get his beard to reach the ground, and then flourishes back out.
Yes, and you succeed in doing such. You get some smiles and some pats on the shoulder and the back as they say, well done, little man. Oh, that was a wonderful move."
Theros jumps up onto the middle of the stage and does a gun show.
To great whooping and applause, they ooh and awe of the bulging biceps that show as you just put them on display.
I spin both of the girls with me in a little dance. We all bow together, and then I grab the guy and
Grab the guy and what?
drag him off the stage.
and again, cheers and smiles and applause come from that. Fleegan?
So perhaps we should, as you want, take them to the front and lead them a bit down the road. I'm sure they can find the rest of the way, or at least a tree to lean them against the rest of the night.
That might be a good idea. Let me finish with this here first. Grelda beams from ear to ear. The last coin into your waiting palm. She says, "Thank you, my friends. Borag is right to call you Zatis." Her smile fades slightly. It seems like there's at least one of these brawls that happens every carnival, and usually it's a choice between letting our daughters endure unwanted gossiping or pissing off the locals and getting run out of town empty-handed. Glad you were able to make a good performance out of it this time, though. Grayson steps up beside her and digs his toe into the loud drunkard that started the fight, and he says, "What's this? Why, the churl was sorry and gave us a gift as recompense for his rude behavior," he says as he reaches down to the belt of the unconscious drunk, raggedly snorting at your feet, and he cuts the cord securing the man's coin purse and hands the little leather sack to you with a roguish smirk. "Why don't you take this for your troubles? Don't be afraid to drop by every now and then. As you can see, we've got plenty of use for you to keep these two townies in check. We sure are glad you're around."
We're glad to be around. Thank you, Grayson.
And each of you will have 5 additional silvers to your coin purse. So add 5 silvers to each of you. And as that's happening, and you guys are wrapping up the drunkards and wanting to take him up towards the stage.
Yeah, and taking him to the guards up by the gate.
There is a just a moment. Chelsea, who looks like this, comes running over to you from just to the north of where you're at. She works the illusion tents, and she comes up out of breath, and the normally calm and sweet Chelsea comes running up to you. Though unable to speak, she tugs urgently at your sleeve. She doesn't actually speak. She's mute. And she points towards the Tent of Illusions. Vestia and Skizik are always busy with potentially dangerous spells that require great concentration during the carnival. So if there's an issue, it's on you. And she seems to be somewhat concerned about what's going on and motioning for you guys to go up there. What do you do?
Sprint over.
Yep, head that way.
Okay. All right, Grayson and Grelda say, go, go, go.
Stepping on the big drunk, though, on the way. like a speed bump.
I've never seen Chelsea this agitated before. Must not be right. Go ahead and go. We'll take care of these drunkards. We'll get them where they need to go. Thank you again for your help.
Thank you.
Okay. So you guys head towards the Tent of Illusions, and you should see them there. The two large tents stand here. Their canvases each a rainbow, so it's up here. The canvases each a rainbow of beautiful colors and striped patterns, and a sizable crowd is outside the first tent, with some peeking through the flaps to see inside. Flashes of light periodically illuminate the fabric in explosions of color that garner waves of applause, and the other tent seems empty, though a few of the townies standing nearby give each other worried looks as the strange noises emanate from within. The first tent is called the Tent of Phantasm. This is where Vestia and Skizik's magic shows take place. Here they dazzle crowds using ancient Hanata's magics. Unknown outside of the troupe, though. And they use it to conjure amazing images. Know that you cannot disturb the mages in the middle of a performance, as their magical expressions require considerable concentration and could actually turn a bit dangerous if not properly maintained. The other tent is called the Tent of Glamours, and is a magically imbued artifact of your troupe. Inside, random, wondrous, fantastic, and sometimes frightening illusions entertain those who enter. So Chelsea ushers you towards the flaps of the second tent, where Old Strem, and remember him from from the statements that he makes and pretends the areas, and he addresses you and he says, "We don't know how it got in there, but there's something in the tent. With all the spells going off in there, it's impossible to tell what." He uneasily looks back through the tent's open flaps. "It could be anything, and we're just guessing that there's only one, but there could definitely be more. Now, we don't want to panic, but we can't have one of the beast's best attractions scaring off good coin like this. I'm thinking you need to go in there and get it out." And with that, my friends, I think we must finish for the evening.
Yes.
Sadly.
Yes. Though it has been much fun this evening, and many things happened in the drunken brawl was quite an exciting time, along with the weird happenstance with Mother Salvenza not knowing quite what went on there, and then going back towards the conversations that you had with Cray and Brian, which seemed to spin a tale of concern and confusion, as it were. But tonight, my friends, I think it's time for us to be done, and we pick up where we left off the last time. So, as we come back around tonight, my friends, I do thank you for joining us, and I ask you all, did you have a good time?
Yes.
Hey. Well, cool, and we're so thankful that the great wizard himself joined us, helped spin a wonderful tale, and tell us a little bit more lore about who we are and what our friends are made of, as it were. And so I'm glad you guys had a good time tonight, and I thank you all who have spent the evening with us. We hope that your eyes were open to wonder, and we hope that you as well have a good night. And as we say every evening, may all of your adventures be sticky. And I think we'll leave you with a video. Have a good night.
All right.
Good night, everyone.